May the 9th, a lot of us are going to get together and try to hit those boys. And Charlie stands.
Charlie Glotzback, who won the ARCA race, is he going to save?
No, there ain't no way.
No.
Caution is out.
Yep, he makes pretty hard contact with the inside dirt bank off of turn number 2, bringing out our first caution of the day.
There's a spin in turn 4. It's Richie Pants coming off the guardrail into the wall, then down across the track in the face of heavy traffic. Pants is only 18 years old, but right now he must feel a lot.
Walking to the ambulance.
Bob, you made the comment during break. Think of the significance of Kenny Schrader pulling into pit lane, taking the time to cinch that shoulder harness and seatbelt back up. Made a big difference.
Well, then, okay, Gilly comes in. I just got in the back of the 41 car with Parsons.
He was on the brakes trying to miss what was up in front.
Okay, so he's going to go left. All of a sudden, guess when you come through the smoke?
It's down the grass as he tries to pick up position.
God damn it! Come on. All right.
Let's see who wins this race.
Accident, rather. Well, we got a car slowed down. Sterling Marlin had some problem.
Whoa.
These guys all checked up.
Kurt Busch got under the back end of Brian Simo.
The 17 car really checked up there of Matt Kenseth, and I think these guys just came screaming.
Open. Heavy traffic entering the turn. Uh-oh, Donnie Allison, ticked by Tom Gale, he spins, and more cars pile in. It's one of those big ones. They're all over the racetrack. Marcus getting hit from both sides. Cars on the track in the infield. Debris is flying. What a smash-up.
40-odd laps to go.
Oh, car spinning. It is Richard Brooks in trouble. He's getting hit and slammed into by Ron Bouchard. Out of control. He's still sliding and spinning out of turn 4.
Well, that's a complete redo, Mike. That has to be a redo right there.
Look. Car number 90 turning and flipping, going into the wall, and that takes out at least 3 other cars. He looked like a tire might have blown as they came down for the finish line.
Stretch, car spinning. Number 90 car is involved. That, of course, is Ernie Irvin.
I believe Dick Trickle might have been involved.
Second year in a row, a tough break for Brett Bodine, who was wiped out in the crash on the second lap last year, and now this.
Watch Rusty Wallace just goes down on the apron, and the 90 and 26 both make heavy contact with the wall.
Oh.
And there's Craven behind him. Whoa.
Dale just got loose. Well,
no, he took a big slide. Now he's going to try to pit.
Yeah, this is it. He comes across the track. Mike Wallace gets into the side. Watch him go back up the racetrack here and go straight into the wall.
See, Mike Wallace was racing, saw Jarrett coming down, and went to the apron to miss him. So Jarrett must have cut a tire down.
On the radio, surprisingly calm. When asked what happened, he said, well, he said, big crash on the racetrack.
Huge on the back. Rusty Wallace, point leader. Point leader. Nobody get left back. All this.
But on the backstretch, Richard Brooks rides one down hard.
Michael
Waltrip into the wall, and he comes back into the Pearson car, and there's where Pearson hit the car's wall so hard, and you can see fire at that point also coming out of the car.
That was definitely the best angle of that crash.
I guess that's Kyle Petty that's spinning, the front car that's spinning.
And there's a car went right over Richard Petty. That was Hut Strickland, car number 57. But Richard Petty did drive away, but Hut Strickland just went right over the car.
To turn 3.
Looks like Steve Grissom and Mike Wallace got together there, and the rest of these guys is kind of a chain reaction deal. There's several cars that were collected on further around Major Speedway that you go and have just a precautionary checkup.
And it looked like that Mike Wallace was sort of in the middle of a 3-car deal there. His car got loose, and
his car did just exactly what Andretti's did. The back end started around, and he couldn't. Boy, it's hard to catch one once it starts sideways like that.
He is out of the car. He was scampering, and
boy, he hit that car, didn't he?
fewer cars you'll have to pass. There's a crash on pit road. Benny Parsons swerved into Dick Brooks. Brooks' car misses the wall by inches. He's heading for the infield fence and the spectators. Brooks
Brooks hits head-on, but stops short of the infield crowd.
Significant mishap occurred in turn 3.
Bill, Dick Brooks there on the left got into the wall, and then Petty and Allison became involved in just the sort of chain reaction so typical of this kind of racing. And Petty, for that awful moment there, was very vulnerable to being T-boned.
Fortunately, nobody was hurt in that incident, but only Allison was able to get back racing after extensive body sheet metal repairs to his move.
They're still 3 abreast as they come out through here. Brett Bodine, that's Bobby Hill down the inside. There is trouble.
Bobby Hill and an Unser get together, sliding through the grass in the infield. Unser's car back on the track. He gets it back down again.
Kyle Petty is going to stop it.
And Kyle Petty gets collected.
Kyle tried his best to get stopped. He kept watching that car come back up in front of him.
Hamilton had just moved into 4th. There's the sliding car sideways.
He's right by himself, so I don't think there was any contact. But now, the racetrack, you can't see when you're coming through the smoke here.
You can't see Mike Wallace up in that smoke at all. Here comes Michael Waltrip, and he T-bone drives right into the back of Mike Wallace, who had stopped. Jarrett gets into him, and Schrader got into the back of Michael Waltrip. Just a chain reaction.
I never saw who Kenny Schrader hit, but look at the nose of his car. He's all bashed in.
Schrader hit the back of Michael Waltrip after Waltrip ran into a stopped.
Barriers, he ride with Michael Waltrip. Broke on loose.
Right after the start, there's mayhem in turn 1. A 7-car pileup that rattled the press box, turned the first corner into a junkyard.
Watch this again, tighter look.
Okay, there were 3 deep
Mark
there.
Martin there.
Mark Martin was in the middle, and Jody Ridley's all of a sudden just shot into the wall. There's Chad Little in the light blue car in front. Here's Darrell Waltrip going by on the inside. And here's Terry Labonte coming by the white car, spinning around the white and red car, but he does go on there. Maybe that's not Labonte because I thought yeah, here comes Labonte going on through. That was another red and white car that was spinning around.
Wow. Oh. Yeah, Martin. Jeff Gordon. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Who is it?
Wow. Everything crazy.
A bad crash here at Talladega. Just a very, very bad crash. Mark Martin is involved. So is Rusty Wallace, Brett Bodine, Elton Sawyer.
Okay, you can see Trickle got into the left rear corner there of the 36, and you see Ernie Irvan with nowhere to go. They keep hitting each other as they slide down the racetrack here. Ernie Irvan really hit hard there, getting into the outside.
Pearson's machine, and it is trailing, leaking fluid as it goes back to the garage area near Pat Patterson. An incident as we get close to the 70-lap mark brings out the second caution of the day, and the 3-time champion David Pearson. David Pearson will not get a chance to go for a 4th. So now the question is, will Buddy Baker become the 4th? Allison repitting. Here's a late report from Bill Cannell.
Well, Jimmy Means' car remains stuck to the outside.
The early retirees, this is the accident as it occurred in turn 1.
Bob, I happened to be looking down there when Kenny went into the corner. I know people in the truck are saying you're supposed to.
Cars again involved, and this is the big one that we had hoped we would not have.
And Jeff Gordon is going to be racing back to the line, trying his best. He and Terry Labonte to stay in the lead lap as we see Dick Trickle.
Unfortunately, it did not. Here's a replay of what happened.
Bob, I can't tell who that was that started it. There are 2 or 3 in there. Lots of smoke, of course, heavy smoke. Again, Bodine, Wallace, DK.
There is DK right there going over the front quarter panel of some car.
Connie Saylor did a good
19th, job. And there you see the car breaking away in the tri-oval. Back end goes into the wall, rotates, slams the front end. He once rolled about 12, 13 times in the back straightaway here. Here he is just across the start-finish line, and he'll end up down to the grass.
Very fortunate, Ken, that he didn't hit the wall any harder than he did, and now the car scoots down into the grass area, and that's where it rests right there.
This is our robotic camera in turn 3. Just got a little out of...
Yep, looks like he got up just a little bit high in that groove. Could have had a tire going down.
Maintains position.
and takes Petty with him.
And we're going to have a terrific crash here as nearly all the field is going to be involved in this crash. There are only about 10 or 12 cars that survived this melee just past the starting line.
When you have cars that near to the front.
In turn 2.
You see Trickle had lost it and backed up into the wall already, sliding along the wall. Starts to come back down. The racetrack car starting to turn. Come down slowly here. Just kind of like we've seen with John Andretti and Ernie Irvin.
Into the 30 car of Johnny Benson. They make contact, shoots Benson down across the track, almost gets Mike Skinner. Then up there in front of Joe Nemechek up on the outside. Morgan Shepherd up there as well. Kenny Wallace loses control. Here's Lake Speed back there. Bobby Labonte down on the inside. Dick Trickle gets hit hard. Lots of good race cars torn up here.
There's Bodine. Hard hit. 90 is Trickle, 77 is Hillen. Oh, brother. Some hard hits.
Down the backstretch. Tremendous side-by-side racing in a crash. Mark Martin's car lifts off the ground but does not go over. But this crash is going to involve several cars.
You see Hud Strickland in the mud there. On the outside. And they're running.
It was bound to happen.
Another angle. Looks like they must have hit coming out of 2.
Coming out of 2, that's a treacherous spot over there, Richard. That's the shortest turn on the racetrack.
That
coming off the turn.
really, really tight. And again, the wind catches you there. You go off the transition from the bank onto the straightaway you know, if you're not got everything lined up just already straight down the straightaway, it don't work too good.
There he is, just in the corner, and I don't know that Bobby Labonte was close enough to him to have anything to do with that.
See John Andretti going up there. He hits Dale Jarrett just a little bit. He starts to spin. You see Jimmy Spencer making it by there. Now it's chain reaction behind him.
Dick Trickle, then Ricky Rudd comes into it. And you're right, chain reaction after that.
He's got up against the wall that just got through it all.
Keep your eye on Darrell Waltrip. Watch him come through here unscathed, right on the bottom.
Just sort of
watch the upper right of your screen and you can see Dick Trickle into the wall. John Kernan has more.
Dick has radioed into the crew and told them that the rear brakes locked up